Hey guys, Spangeth here. So in this video, I want to talk about my arthritis, scoliosis, and muscle wasting. And mostly want to talk about these because these are conditions that I have actually struggled with over the last year, and I'm actually still struggling with them. And I also go over stuff that my doctor or doctors are doing for me, as well as things that has been frustrating in this process, as well as my progress on these as well. Um, Now I know last year sucked obviously all around for so many people, but for me physically it was hard because at the beginning of the year I was in a good place, right? I started with a new diet, going vegan. I had a new workout plan, and things were going great, but then, because of lockdowns and stuff, I slowly couldn't go to doctor's appointments physically for a while. I had to be just all over the phone. And eventually, what ended up happening is I was stuck at home all day for months, like most people, just sitting at my computer or the couch. I ended up getting sick for like a whole month, and especially with someone with my condition, if you're sick for a whole month, you can't exercise, obviously, for many reasons, but and so for me, it made it easier to fall away from the exercise that I had worked so hard to do. And so I kind of slipped away from that to basically non existent. I slipped on my diet here and there as well. Um, and so what happened slowly over the year, as the year went on, was I had started to develop scoliosis. Um, Now, I did have this when I was a teenager, actually, and it was in the form of an S. And thankfully, I got it corrected through chiropractors. And I've been fortunate not to have had scoliosis in all those years since. Um, but I think around September, I started to pick up exercising again. And I started with just morning walks, since walking is usually the easiest for me to do. But after like a month of walking, I couldn't take the lower back pain that I was experiencing with those walks. So I went and switched to my stationary bike. And after a month, my middle upper back area, it started to give me like a really intense and unbearable pain. Um, and I told my pain specialist doctor about my upper back pain, and she just dismissed it again with the whole age thing, which I talked about in the last video, and just told me that I need to work through it, stand up straight and all that, all that typical type stuff. And eventually, it just kept getting worse, obviously. And thankfully, at the pain specialist place, that's the thing that, real quick, that's the one thing that sucks about that place. There's so many nurse practitioners and doctors that rotate through there, so you almost never always see the same person twice, or at least not very often or frequently. So, anyways, I saw a new doctor, one I've actually never seen before, at this pain specialist place, and I told her, that my back was getting worse, and I couldn't like do my exercise bike machine, and eventually I figured out that exercise bike was what was triggering the back pain, because where the backrest would sit, it was pushing on something that was either loose or curved weird. So yeah, it just made it more aggravated. And so thankfully, this new doctor, she ordered some MRIs and X-rays for my back, and it's, my lower back hasn't been X-rayed or MRI'd for like 4 years. So it was time, anyways, to get it checked out. My upper back has never been X-rayed or MRI'd, so it's good just to have that done. But the arthritis that showed in my lower back just 4 years ago, and this was like barely present, not much to be alarmed with or concerned with. But you fast forward to today, 4 years later, I have disc loss. I have severe osteoarthritis in the entire lower back section. I've got a lot of issues there. So thankfully she agreed for the time being to up my pain medicine, which helped for a bit. And then I got referred to a physical therapist, and their initial evaluation showed the scoliosis as well. And he said there was this at the lower back where it basically transitioned from the lower back to the middle. There was this sharp drop off, kind of like this, in my back, and that's where a lot of the pain was coming from. Obviously on top of arthritis, but in this case, most of the pain, the new pain, I should say, is from the scoliosis and that crazy, I don't know, bending of the spine. And so, I've been going for physical therapy about 4 weeks now. And so then in that time, I also got the upper MRI results. And yep, it shows the same thing the physical therapist talked about, which was scoliosis. I don't remember it was a term in front of it I didn't remember, but it basically is scoliosis. And so I've been working on trying to straighten my back over these last 4 weeks. It was pretty brutal. It still kind of is. But the first 2 weeks, like the guy told me, was pretty bad. I couldn't even manage to stand up for more than 30 seconds at a time, because by that point, my lower back was just this excruciating pain. Like, it was probably one of the worst pains I've ever experienced through my struggles. And I was basically stuck in my computer chair, because he said, the physical therapist said I couldn't sit on the couch for probably 2 weeks at least, just because it's really soft and doesn't support you, and you have to do crazy amount of pillows or cushions and yada yada. But I was basically stuck on my computer chair for 2 weeks, and a heating pad like 24/7, because it was just so bad. And trying to sit straight and force your body to sit straight when your back is so jacked is really tough. And of course I had to do my daily physical therapy exercises as well, which was also very painful. And just doing the physical therapy appointments were pretty intense. One of the guys does this at the very beginning, a deep tissue massage, and he massages my muscles that are tight or tense, and it was really painful. But the tightness I have, especially in my legs, I've had that since as long as I can remember. And I've tried working out like my hamstring in general. It's tough. It's like so wound tight. Like even doctors and physical therapists are surprised how tightly wound it is. So it's kind of tough with that. And so The massages weren't fun. They were necessary, obviously, and in the end, they were helpful, just painful. Um, and actually, um, let's see. So, my last appointment on Thursday, I think it was. I decided to wear this sweatshirt jacket because I was cold. But then when I got there, I realized that about 20 minutes into my exercises that wearing it was a really bad mistake, because they also added leg weights, and I had to do these leg lifts. And with the added weight, it was really tough. It was about 2 minutes in with wearing the mask and the hot jacket. It triggered my nerves, and it triggered it to where they literally felt like they were on fire, and it started to make my whole body kind of twitch or shake, because it's like this weird, like I've talked about last time, I think, with the heebie-jeebie kind of cringy. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like a full body like twinge, and I just had to push through it. It definitely wasn't pleasant experience, to say the least. So obviously I won't be wearing this again. Other than those experiences, my back, after these 4 weeks, is actually showing an improvement. I can stand for longer now, not by a whole lot, but I'll take what I can get, right? And obviously I'll keep you guys updated on how my back is going on the next video. And now I just kind of want to talk about my arthritis in general, that plagues mostly my back. It's, like I said earlier, osteoarthritis, which is the most common type. This arthritis, sadly, doesn't just plague my back, but also my knees, my hips, my hands, and right now, the back is by far the worst in terms of my arthritis. However, my hand is not just suffering from arthritis, but it in my left hand in particular, it's affected by carpal tunnel, which most of you probably know what that is, and it's causing what's called muscle wasting. Some of you might know it as muscle atrophy, but my rheumatologist thinks that's the cause of it, 100%. And in fact, this whole muscle wasting has been going on for what I believe to be over a year now. And I've had 2 total nerve studies just on the left arm before actually I started having the muscle wasting, and then one afterwards so they can compare, which was helpful. It went untreated obviously for this long, and it's still really not fully being treated. My left hand really at this point is looking more like skin and bones, because of how long it's gone on, and it's slowly just been degrading. And I keep pushing my doctors obviously to get it taken care of, but it has been a really long battle. My rheumatologist told me to push my pain specialists to give me everything that they can, so that it will help stop the progression and correct the problem. And in fact, my rheumatologist even referred me to another hand specialist, since the current one I had, she either wasn't able or capable of doing anything. Plus, she was super hard to get a hold of after the whole nerve study thing, and so yeah. So after relaying all that stuff that my rheumatologist told me, they agreed to give me a steroidal shot in my wrist, and just to see how it went. Well, that was supposed to be last week, right? And I ended up waiting like 2 hours in the office, which isn't, unfortunately, unusual. But they overscheduled or something, and they're like, oh, well, we don't have time to do that. and the lady that does that isn't here at this office, but yet they scheduled me there, and now I'm just left like, okay, that's cool. I mean, sure, it's not like, my hand is deteriorating or anything serious. I mean, come on. It was really frustrating to hear. So hopefully next month, I'll get it done. I made sure they scheduled it at the location where the lady will be, so I can get it done. But in the meantime, I'm supposed to be getting and starting occupational therapy, which has still been a struggle to even getting started because doctor's office dragged their feet. I had to constantly call them and ask them about the referral. And now that I got it, the place that does my therapy, they're like dragging their feet, and it's just like I'm constantly on the phone trying to get just stuff done. So that's been frustrating. I've been doing stuff at home to, help, but it's really tough, and I have a bracer for it too. But my hope really at this point is that between the hand therapy and the shots, that they can start to get my hand back to my normal, I guess. But I don't know how muscle atrophy type stuff works. If it's like once it's gone, it's gone. Or can it regenerate? I don't know. Those things I'll have to ask. But I just hope that these things that they tend to do, the shots and the therapy, I hope they work to a good degree, because I really don't want the surgery. Obviously it would be helpful, but with my condition, I have a lot of risks involved in any surgery, minor or not, whatnot. But we'll see how things go, and of course, I'll keep you guys updated and on that as well on my next stream if I have any updates. If not, I'll update you the next time I have something to go on. But let me show you. If I don't know how well you can see my hand in the camera, but let me try to see here. So this is, it's kind of hard to see, but right here there's like a huge indentation, and I can push my finger through pretty easily, and I don't know if you can see that line right there, but that's also where muscle has been deteriorating, as well as in this section right here. I can literally push my finger all the way through to the bone with zero resistance. So yeah, it's getting pretty bad. I mean, I think my 11-year-old niece is stronger than me at this point, at least in this hand. But one last thing I want to share with you guys that I've struggled with over the last 4 months or so is depression. We all know what that is. Some of us have struggled with it. Some of us are currently struggling with it. It's tough when you try to better yourself, and then of course life happens, whatever, and now you're worse off than you started, and it wasn't like something minor. No, it's been several hardships, obviously, but honestly, my fear is what took me over. My fear that one day I can't function in society like most people can, or even in general, or hold down a job that I've honestly been working really hard for over these last couple of years, by going back to college, getting my GED, so I can go to college. So it's that fear of not being able to do that is real, and also the fear of not being able to maybe live on my own. And it's just a lot to deal with. But I just hope with kickstarting this physical therapy and hopefully with starting the occupational therapy that I can get back to, a state where I can exercise at home again and get back to my version of normal. I'll say I am doing better depression wise, just FYI. This channel in particular has definitely helped me with telling guys everything that's been going on and hopefully helping people in the process. So that's been helpful, of course. Also pushing those fears that I have, just regardless if they come true or not, you just push them off to the side and just don't even think about it and just do what I gotta do. And then of course, the support I have around me, friends and family and whatnot, and just trying to be grateful and thankful for what I do have has really helped. So I'm doing better, just FYI. And I'll talk a little bit more about my chronic depression and other stuff like that in a later video. So I know that kind of took a little bit of a turn at the end with the depression. This video doesn't come across as dreary enough as it is to hear the other stuff I talked about, but hey, I just want to tell you, all of you who watch this video, that you are loved, that you are important, you matter, not just to yourself, but those around you. This world is a better place with you in it, and I say this to everyone, not just those who are like me that struggle health-wise, but to everyone, okay? Because we all matter, and we all need to feel loved and connected to each other, and we just need to share that love and come together as a community, and yeah, I just wanted to say that. But on that note, that is going to be it for now. So I thank you all for following me and hearing about my health and through my journey of life and obviously its struggles. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment. And if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and check out any other videos I have in there. And I appreciate you and I thank you, and I'll see you next time.